Hi to everyone. Good morning. For me it's a great honor to stay here at the Apache Con. My English is not very good. My hope is good enough to share what my experience and my thought and my vision are. I still learning for my next Apache Con. Don't worry. The slides are so quite exhaustive, so I can not speak. I am the first mute speaker of the Apache Con. I am Nicola Mazzoni, and I am CEO and CTO of MP-Style. I work as a project manager and developer a long time on ERP and e-commerce project in the fashion industry. I'm a Java programmer. I like write code. I work on IBM mainframe from a long time. I work with my small development group and working on ERP. Obviously, I know quite well the process management in clothing fashion manufacturing company. In the last year, I work also on omnichannel strategy in some projects. I'm enthusiastic about open source and OfBiz because usually open source and ERP are two things don't meet well together. And with OfBiz, I found the possibility of work with open source in ERP context too. Well, we have two core business. One of the core business is my legacy ERP, run on IBM mainframe, is a vertical solution only for fashion industry. We work on small, medium company. It's a standard ERP because all customers have the same database and the same procedure, and is active. Usually mainframe solutions are legacy, but I don't like legacy because it's quite smell like an old procedure that doesn't run, difficult to maintain, difficult to test. So mainframe are a platform, and a good software can be written in every platform, I think. The other core business of my company are OfBiz-based solution. We work on OfBiz in the last 3 years, working on B2C, B2B, omnichannel solution obviously related to B2C, and I still work for the version 2.0 of our ERP, migrating from mainframe to an open source solution. We do a project with the customer and not for the customer. Great. We work, DevOps for me is a dev. My developer work 2 by 2 on a desk. We use project management tool like Redmine integrated with Git. We use plain text tool like plain2ml, LaTeX for writing report and documentation and so on, and generating code. We have a small task, a small array for less risk. Is a good strategy, I think. Work on cloud server. Also, our mainframe are in cloud. And my approach is a remote first, also in local environment. Ops in a small or tiny software house like mine, I think is customer awareness, work with the customer. So concretely is weekly recap with the customer has the test environment in cloud and have to dedicate resources to the test. So because we have to work on effectively and completely transparent business model. So me and my developer can use energy for write code and solve problem and not for other stuff. So why small medium enterprises? In Europe I don't know in the USA. In Europe, small medium enterprises are less than this number. Small medium enterprises, if you see those numbers, you can understand it is a number of person employee in all Europe is the 66%, and their value added in the total Europe country is more than 50%. Is a very great number, and I think small medium enterprises is very interesting for us because they are a substantial part of the market. Because the market of big company requires big software and is already firmly in the hands of SAP. Sorry. Of the total ERP installation, the small medium enterprises, the three big players of ERP, have a small market share, a very small market share. I think small medium enterprises are agile company. They need agile software house, need vertical skill, and partner close also geographically to them. Today, thousands of small software houses work each with their big proprietary ERP. Big because an ERP is not an app, it's not a game. It is usually very not so complex, but so a huge amount of code, thousands of tables and a lot of procedure. And this reality are the IT health of each small medium enterprises. So why why this fragmentation in the market, and how were they born? Go ahead. Okay. So the past of small medium enterprises, when an IT manager use one programming language, simple with few commands, close to a human language, and he could manage video, DB, and create report with only one language. It's very different for the actual situation. The IT manager spoke with the users, collect the requirements, formalize them, and usually working on mainframe the operating system was not a problem, because mainframe has OS, DB, all included. And the most important thing, for decades, mainframe were changes, but the code are always backward compatible. So the IT manager knew the business processes, because it's no tech-only people, and has a strong dialect knowledge of the system. So this, in a nutshell, what it means. The technological aspect was just a detail. So this ERP solution were born from former CTO and former mainframe consultant. A lot of mainframe consultant, a lot of IT manager, former IT manager, create a lot of small software houses, a lot of ERP, a lot of vertical solution, with a lot of fragmentation. Actually in Europe this is the situation. And the dinosaurs say, when I talk about mainframe, it looks like an old situation, but it's not true, because mainframe is everywhere. Under the desk of the hotel, if I look, I see a lot of terminal emulators. So it's not the past, but it's the present too. And when I talk with the colleague of Camel integration, they say there are a lot of integration with mainframe using Camel, Apache MQ, and other Apache product. It's not so visible, but it's a real situation. So I have an ERP solution. I am a small software house. Two ways. I keep my ERP solution, my code, and my customer, or I become a vendor of a Greek player, SAP, Oracle, Microsoft. Not choosing, it's already a choose. Okay? So, what is the pros and the cons of keep my solution or become a vendor? If I go ahead with my ERP, I have some pros. I am the master of the solution I propose. I know the system does everything that customer asked me in a lot of years of work. I'm free to decide the cost, the license, and the fee. I can modify the code without fearing a new release. So usually, if you go with a business partner, I talk about later. The cons are I am alone, because with my proprietary ERP solution, I cannot grow in market and geographical area. It's quite risky for my customer. If I stay in Vegas for 6 months, for my customers, it's a problem. Also for me, for my financial. Architect refactoring for me is the key question, because if I want to rewrite everything on modern technology, have to rewrite. A huge effort is needed for a small structure. Millions of line and code, hundreds of screens, and hundreds of DB tables. And usually, when I work with proprietary ERP, small proprietary ERP, each installation has different custom code. And the shape of ERP to come is this. No SQL, fine-grained login for security and data auditing. Internet of Things, monitor machine operations, social analytics, sensor and devices, device-independent ERP, serverless, function as a service, blockchain for smart contract and distributed ledger, artificial intelligence for automate routine, make accurate forecasting, smart UI for suggest the bot suggestion and voice recognition. You do really think you can stay up with the date with your proprietary small ERP? I think it's quite difficult. So, the second way is become vendor system integration or integrator of a big player. Vendor or system integrator. There are some pros. I am part of a large family of international partners. I have the support of the parent company. I take advantage of international and well-known brand. This is an important, is a key question. It's not technically, but for marketing reasons, it's very important. I know that. The software core is international standard, written in a modular way. And the other key question is the parent company thinks of technological innovation. I care about business, like when I work on mainframe. So I can concentrate me and my customer and my business on business processes, not about tech, not about framework, changing framework, compatibility, library, and so on. The cons are the software was not born for a sector. Yes, it's not my software. It's the SAP software, the Oracle software. Certain business logic must be made from scratch. Maybe if the data model supported. Business partner can enter into competition with each other. I'm not the master of the solution I propose. The master, I talk about technological directive, but also prices. The prices are imposed from above. And if I grow, if I am SAP business partner and I grow, SAP can go to work with my customer directly, bypassing me. There are some political questions too. So the competition, this is an artificial intelligence. Business partner could join at my customer, and the customer is the big players, not mine. So obviously the core software is closed. When I talk about the third way of open source solution, I think is the best of both worlds, because I think there are some cons too, like in everything in the life. Is exciting the experience of working with people from other cultures and cutting-edge technology. Think about a small software house with 10 developers, 6, 10 developers working in the same geographical area, always with the same customer, always with the same stakeholders, work with source code, different source code, technological innovation, code, open code is exciting too. Sharing with other developers, other country, other sector is exciting. And after I want to talk about the low appeal of ERP in the developer world. The cons are I don't have the brand and the appeal of a big brand. I have always changed my platform and rewrite the code. Maybe open source, not yet a good reputation for ERP solution, but still, I think this mentality can change. Depending on the community, if the project is closed, it can be a problem for the survival of my product. In a nutshell, these are the three icons I like for visualize the three situations. My proprietary ERP, I'm free, but I'm alone. I have to reinvent the wheel because there are a lot of software houses. Every software house write the invoicing product procedure, the MRP procedure, and so on. But the business is quite the same. Difficult to keep up with technology. If I am a partner of a big player, I'm not free, I'm not alone, but I have the big brand tech and the big brand label. So for marketing. If I use an open source ERP, I build an ERP open on with an open source solution. I am free, I am not alone. I can work with remote team and cutting-edge technology and sharing with other people and other cultures. So I like this novel. There's a simple way to capture some types of monkey. Take a banana and put it in a wooden box. Make a slit in the wooden box big enough to let you pass the open hand of the monkey. The slit must be small enough to not pass the banana. The monkey put his hand to take the banana. He doesn't want to lose this treasure. So he doesn't leave the banana and stay there. At this point, it's easy to capture it. He lost his freedom for a banana. Could it be that many small software houses like Little Monkey lost their freedom so as not to lose their little banana ERP? But there are some other ERP open source solution, but I choose OfBiz. Why? For my company, I choose OfBiz because I like these things: Apache, DB independent, framework, modules, and Java. If you look at the dinosaur, here some mainframe related point. Apache, well, automatically give credibility to your custom ERP because Apache is well known for our customers. The community is solid, organized, shared structure. But the most important thing is the Apache license. You can customize, extend, modify, and repackage and resell free of charge. It's not JPL, it's Apache license for ERP because some customers want a license like Apache. They want to keep the source code. Java is widely used. It's possible to find programmer. Java can be dynamic using Groovy. This is quite a technical question, but it's a good reputation in the enterprises. Not like PHP, for example, for some. DB independent. I don't mean only only MySQL or PostgreSQL or Oracle, but I think the independent key question of OfBiz is the logic remain only at the application level. It is not fragmented between the database and the application layer. So, if I change DB, if TSQL or PLSQL is not a problem for OfBiz. So I like the framework too, because for me it's developer oriented. It's also user oriented, but is developer oriented first. Because it's born for ERP, it's not a generical framework. It's XML based. Yes, MVC is an OS rather than a framework. You can concentrate on the business processes when I talk about operating system rather than a framework. Concentrated on the business processes like in the framework world, in the mainframe world, sorry. It's not general purpose. It was bought specifically for ERP, CRM, e-commerce, without too many frill. And I like the pragmatic programmer approach. I think the pragmatic programmer approach is a must for small software houses. The small software house, because with few developers you must be agile and pragmatic for nature. So, MVC, control, view and model. Some detail about what I like I like the model of OfBiz because it's always and only XML. The entity engine think about generating the table and modifying them. I hate ORM because when I work on ERP, I think about table, I think about record, and I don't think about object. So if you use some ORM, I like the only ORM I like is iBatis in the past because it's driven by developer. The other ORM, I don't like the ORM because I think with a project with 500-600 tables, I see with some ORM the huge query, and if the table grow, I don't know after 1 or 2 or 10 years, because when I think about ERP, I think about a project must to live 10 or 20 years, not a release of 6 months. So the view, I like the view because it's XML based too, and I like FreeMarket too because for me it's a fantastic templating language, and I use before the implementation of this. Don't repeat yourself, because the modular widget system of OfBiz is great for me. If you have hundreds of screens, is important a modular widget system. So if you like the dinosaur, is like if you work on COBOL or mainframe, is like the screen definition. Good. MVC controller is XM based too. Is already possible to understand the flow of information, because for me the XML of OfBiz seems like a workflow management language, BPML or something like this, and non-tech people can understand. Not all, but some people. And OfBiz is natively service-oriented. If you work with a monolithic ERP, is a very different way. OfBiz is born lean for the cloud and service-oriented too. Modules of OfBiz. Modules are e-commerce, invoicing, customer product, catalog, ERP, and so on. There are a lot of modules out of the box, or I think ready to customize, because the modules are well written. It is ready to change, modify, copy and paste, and make your module too. The plugin system introduced recently is allowed to build your own modules and customize them. And so if the out-of-the-box management does not meet all the business requirements, the infrastructure is good enough to build your own. I found myself in need of developing a B2C solution, obviously for a customer, using my legacy, don't like but legacy ERP, just for. I could choose one of the many open source e-commerce frameworks, like Magento, and so on. In Italy, it's easy to find a PHP developer than a plumber. I don't know what made me unique. Experience in the ERP system, experience in business processes. And OfBiz is, don't look, wait. Not because it was the easiest way to create an e-commerce, but surely is the most effective way to develop your ERP. So Magento is the easy way or something like this for create an e-commerce, but only an e-commerce. I'm an ERP guy. I don't want to talk about e-commerce for a customer and integrate my ERP and make other stuff and integrate and use other tools. If possible, I like to use one database, one procedure. So front end with OfBiz for this is some screen of my project with OfBiz for the customer. Front end for sketches, yes. We have written mobile first with Bootstrap, different UI for different brands, but the same backend. We have written template, not template engine, but a modular way to use different UI with the same backend and with the same procedure. Because on the same server, on the same platform, we have 5 or 6 different brands. Because in fashion, every brand has your interface. Maybe it's the same company, but different brands need different look. For the content management, we do not rely on external system or tool. I think to simplify and standardize everything on a single platform. So, all you can see, image, text, and so on, our developers are in the back-office content using the OfBiz infrastructure without touching the standard entity. So, all our projects are on the entity of OfBiz. We have written some service, obviously, and the user interface. In fashion, for example, OfBiz natively manage real products, virtual products, and features best than other solutions like Magento, I think. Without touching the data model, we manage the color size metrics. When we think of buying a hat, we can just buy a hat, but we decline it in a real world with a size and a color. And so each box in the matrix is the real product. So this 9 product, 9 in the entity 9 product of OfBiz. This is virtual no as variant yes, or all this. This is the feature of the size and the color, and the virtual product is virtual yes, is variant no. It's not so simple, but it's surely it's amazing because it's I don't know, elastic, is easy to implement, easy to modify to your need. This is the final result, yes, of the color size matrix. This is the customer, I don't have. B2C, the final customer buy one piece in the 99% of cases. So this is the mobile view of the B2C. I can choose the size and the color, for example. In B2B, the render of the same color size matrix is very different because I have to insert hundreds of lines and dozens of pieces. And I need a matrix like this. It's more simple to understand. Okay. The infrastructure. So we use hproxy as load balancer with 2 or 3 or 4 Linux server, OfBiz with Tomcat integrated, and Apache HTTP server 2. HTTP server 2, why? For serve static resources connected with IJP with Tomcat. Not only for performance reason, I think, but I think the Tomcat is good like HTTP server for static resource, but is easy to configure because the Tomcat is integrated in OfBiz. It is quite difficult to manage virtual host, for example, on the configure with the load balancer, and one Linux server with MariaDB. The system integration. OfBiz based B2C is connected with mailing system, WMS of the logistic operator, BI, point of sale, and MRP. ERP to B2C. Publishing tool. We have developed what we call publishing tool on the ERP side. The operator can integrate the data already present in the ERP with the missing data via import from Excel or through manual data entry. So emotional description, description in language, prices, price rule, cross-selling, upselling, and so on. And after a user can publish the XML, and a service in on output service bring this data, and every hour, I think, or every 2 hours. Another integration of ERP to B2C, the site ERP to B2C, is the stock availability. I don't talk about real-time stock. This is a bulk order. After I talk about real-time. Bulk order on ERP at the beginning of the season. And after the production cycle, the garment enter into logistics, and through ERP, the e-commerce order is automatically assigned for the relevant garment. So I create this inventory item. If you work with OfBiz, you know, and OfBiz take the inventory item and load the product availability. If you have any question, you can interrupt me. Speak slowly. Keep calm and speak slowly.
I promise I'll speak slowly.
Yeah.
But your English is much better than my Italian, so. So when you configured your manual data entry for your inventory items, is that being done in the native OfBiz UI, or did you create another UI for your users to do that data entry?
Yes, good question. Where is the ERP, the legacy ERP, who manage the data? Yes, about availability. And after OfBiz take the inventory item XML, that is completely the availability. So at this time, OfBiz manage quantity on hand and available to promise, 2 kinds of availability. With or without the order, I don't have been shipped.
So in that case, like, how do you sync back the inventory back into the legacy system?
I don't understand, sorry.
So like you have taken the inventory data from the legacy
Yes.
system,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now your system like process the order and promise against the availability. So there is some change in the inventory numbers.
Yes,
The
yes.
system is responsible for that.
Yes, I talk later because this is a bulk order. A bulk order when in fashion industry, when I create a collection, the e-commerce, the digital manager, the e-commerce buyer say, well, this product for e-commerce, I make a bulk order of this product for this size and this color, this product, this size and this color, and this is a bulk order for create MRP and availability and order to supplier. After, at the end of the production cycle, I have this garment, and this garment is only for B2C. It's not an omnichannel strategy. After I talk about omnichannel.
So this is the procurement part, right?
Yes.
So the purchase order, and the last arrow shows that you are publishing the
Yes.
new purchased product.
Yeah, the purchase, yes.
So that they are available for sales, right?
In this task, these products are only for B2C. There are no problem about other channel. B2C to ERP. Each time an article is sent on B2C, the ERP receives the flow of the shipped order on the legacy ERP for accounting and update inventory. So the ERP inventory is updated with this methodology. WMS. Why WMS is not in the ERP integration? Because in fashion, I don't know other sector, but in fashion, the customer delegate warehouse and shipment to a third party in order to concentrate on the core business, because it's a seasonal business, fashion, and the warehouse grow rapidly and go down rapidly, and it's difficult to manage this. Also, Armani, Gucci, and all these don't use an internal warehouse, use third party, a freight manager, and so on. Each time OfBiz receives an order, is given to WMS that handles the shipment. The WMS sends OfBiz all shipment made, a special OfBiz service acquired the custom made this obviously, acquired the shipment by completing the process, issuing the invoice, sending the email to the customer shipment. This is a wrapper service written by me that called the standard OfBiz process. Less invasive possible. So, omnichannel. What is omnichannel? Trend talk. Omnichannel allow organization to allocate inventory availability. I go. So, order fulfillment for omnicommerce is different flow path. Order online, deliver to customer, order online, pick up at store, and so on. What's click from store for my project? Because the customer orders in the store. The customer orders in store, but using e-commerce through assisted sale. Why this order fulfillment method, this path, and not the other? The concrete case that the customer had a problem opening a shop in Venice near Piazza San Marco, where the cost per square meter is important. So luxury brand have very high maintenance cost. And one key question is shelves full of clothes have a cheap feel. And luxury brand as a minimum, they say Zen look. So it's impossible to have all the products for all sizes and color. Think about a typical collection of Gucci is 200 models. Every model have 5 colors. Every color have 6 or 7 sizes. Okay. It's a lot of product to store in the same retail point. How Click4Store implemented technically? A dedicated web store with real-time sharing of central stock availability. This, accessible only by the seller, was developed on OfBiz. The special section shows the availability of central warehouse in this case. Every time the user clicks on the product page, OfBiz calls a web service REST on ERP with input SKU and output quantity on end, and align the inventory item. Is quite simple. In the checkout phase, only pay offline can be selected in this dedicated web store. The order is transferred to the POS, point of sale software, via web service. The point of sales software is not ERP, is another Windows solution, another third party. The order on the POS issues the receipt and collects the sale. In this phase, a web service REST on POS warns OfBiz that the order has been paid. It's like a bank transfer, so like PayPal. The point of sale call OfBiz and say, okay, money is good, okay, and go on. And after is a normal sale.
One question, have you faced any time the scenario of over-promising something because you have a common stock availability across the channels? It might happen that in high traffic situation, multiple channels are competing for the same stock availability.
Yes.
So
in this scenario, the availability is the central stock.
yeah.
Because is quite problematic also for political reason from retail manager versus e-commerce manager. Is my sale? No, it's your sale. In this concrete case, I have developed for this single customer is the situation is the scenario is the central availability. Okay, I'm in time. Next project for me, sub-migration from your ERP to OfBiz. What I mean with I call about sub-migration. Use a lean and sustainable approach. Be DevOps and keep calm. Yes, Rome wasn't built in a day. There are thousands of lines of code in your ERP. Spring cleaning, because review of data and processes. Migration is not only copy and paste of processes and data. And involve customer, because you don't always know the requirement better than them. Learn about the standard services and modules of OfBiz, because there are a lot of services. And it's quite difficult to know all the services. In sometime when I work with my developer, we need a service which make this product, and if I look in the OfBiz standard, well, just the same service or quite the same service. So for me, OfBiz need a cleaning, a spring cleaning of all the services.
Plenty of services.
Don't reinvent the wheel. So small tasks, migrate one module of service at a time. For my experience, for example, start from the bill of material. So, and so on. Progressively integrate old and new ERP. Use microservices, message broker like Apache Camel or RabbitMQ. Apache Camel is a great integration platform. I think if it's possible, integrate the old and the new ERP is a good choice, because it's not possible. Big project fail. I want to rewrite all my ERP, and after usually big rewriting project of monstrous monolithic ERP fail. If possible, install OfBiz on your ERP DBMS. for obvious reason. Don't repeat yourself. Think about the services and screens typical of your business. In my example, the size color metrics, but in other kind of business is different. But if I think about my business, what is the core user interface, the color size metrics? If I write a good widget, I can implement in all the system. I think about the color size metrics in my development is not only two-dimensional but also three or four-dimensional, because in a fashion system it's possible to have other entity, not only color and metric, not only color and sizes, but fit. For example, slim fit, regular fit is another dimension, but with if you think about all the possibility and you write a good user interface, a good model, a good widget, you can reuse them in all the situation. So if you are a good developer and you know it's possible to write a parser to convert your old string to OfBiz XML screen definition. It's possible to read, for example, the screen section of a COBOL program, parse it and write OfBiz XML, because for this reason I like the pragmatic approach of text-only tool, because it's possible to automate this task, create code for 2 minutes. The low appeal of ERP in the developer's world. Why ERP not look very exciting? So when I think to guy talking about your job to tech guy, wow, I found a fantastic job, I'm writing crazy code, I use Kubernetes, Docker, Python, microservice, I only have a contract for 6 months and the salary is not great. And the other guy say, I have a good contract and the salary is very good, but we do ERP software. So for me, OfBiz can make ERP exciting because various business partners of OfBiz can create an ecosystem of vertical based on specific reality, helping to improve the data model, the framework, and the business module too. Also for me, ERP is not a technological issue, is exciting by nature because every object that surrounds us is created within an ERP, and all the processes that govern goods and services are modeled in ERP. So it's exciting, no? No, it's yes. Thanks. The dinosaur come back to your bank. Thank you.
I have a question. So, how many data model changes you had to do on the OfBiz data model, out-of-the-box data model, to fit your specific business needs?
I have only added some fields to some table.
Okay. So minimal.
Minimal. For the fields are for integration with other systems. Usually the flag yes, no, okay, not okay, but not some token about the other system and the return of the flow of the string connection. No, nothing interesting or so exciting to say.
So yeah, this is what I was expecting. The OfBiz data model is quite good and flexible.
Yes.
So this makes me happy. On the other hand, we look, if we are playing with your out of the box OfBiz demos, we all think we can agree that the user interface is less than exciting, right? The out of the box user interface of OfBiz.
Yes.
Backend.
Yes. When I talk about developer-oriented, this is not so user-oriented. If a user go to the demo section, is all the stuff, all the function, but is good for a developer to understand what OfBiz can do, and I see all the feature, but in a user perspective is quite confusing.
So what I understand is that your process was to focus on the user interfaces that were critical to the fashion industry users. So for example, you mentioned the size color matrix. So how many changes you did in this area, so in the user interface part to make your customer happy? Approximately.
Yeah, the user interfaces is critical in B2C, first of all, after in B2B, because it's a third party. But I think it's not so critical in the internal environment, in the back office procedure. If you see SAP or Oracle Cloud, is not so exciting, the UE. I think it's necessary to make some smart UE in the back office for speed up some procedure.
It might depend also on what module is being implemented and the business type. So like for inventory management, it's pretty robust